the way to go. Unfortunately, the same people are telling us that, yo, compromise and don't die. So that has in a great way affected not just mine, but the belief in religion. As I conclude your question, when you're asking, it brought back, I'm sure many of you have read Dr. Martin Luther King's letter from Birmingham jail.
Yes. Yeah.
That noted that the young people then were slowly losing interest in the church because the church seemed not to be as moral as it had to be. So for now, I'm not shy to say my religion is truth. My religion is love. My religion is uncompromising truth and equal rights for every human being.
Equal rights.
Yes. That also brings me to my brother's question: how can we use constitutionalism to put an end to gun rule? Don't look at constitutionalism alone. We used constitutionalism. I'm in exile right now. We went to the polls, we voted. We won the dictator. And he said, okay, you have won, but screw you. Announce me winner. And it went on like that. So my being here is not just to make a case to foreigners, but to also tap into their abilities, well knowing that it is not only the forces back home, but the forces internationally that are even more effective and more important. I remember when there was a raging fight against the apartheid regime in South Africa. Africans and friends of Africa were on the streets of America and Europe protesting against apartheid. Why? Because the force that held apartheid intact was coming from here, and the force that disintegrated apartheid came from here. We know, just like the force that held Idi Amin in power came from America and the West, the force that kicked him the hell out came from here. General Museveni has been receiving up to $1 billion annually from the United States, leave alone the other Western countries in security cooperation and all that. But when we come to these countries and tell them, yo, we are not asking you to come save us, but stop sponsoring our death. Stop protecting the dictatorships, not only to the administration, but to the intellectuals like yourselves who have voices that are respected. To the American citizens, because it is your taxpayers' money that is being used to oppress us, whether you know or you don't know. But now nobody can claim not to know because they are aware. When a documentary about apartheid was shown in America, it created so much awareness, and in a short while the American government disassociated with the apartheid government. That is what we want to do, because we know it's possible. We know if America said we are not going to be associated with mass killings of people, that will end. But now Muhoozi Kainerugaba, who is Museveni's son and also the head of Uganda military, will torture people on the camera, will torture the wife of the presidential candidate on camera, and the following day he will come out in a picture, an unofficial picture, standing shoulder to shoulder with either an American diplomat or a European diplomat. What does that communicate? That communicates that you're partners in crime, that you are willing to close an eye to this injustice for, other benefits. It shows that this great democracy, when it comes to Uganda, it chooses diplomacy over democracy. It chooses, if I could finish, it chooses, business over rights and values. And for us, we are telling them, stand for the rights and for the values that you profess. And I've said it before, I'll say it right here again, that if what Museveni is doing to Ugandans was being done by a European leader, that leader will not be in power the next month. However, I mean, you cannot see an American diplomat or a European diplomat from a democracy standing shoulder to shoulder with a dictator like, for example, Lukashenko. But now, if they stand shoulder to shoulder with an African dictator and it's alright to kill 100 Ugandans and you close an eye to it, shows that the standard, Uganda's human rights is held at a lower standard than the rest of the world. And for us, that comes off like racism, and if it's not, I don't know what it looks like. So our effort now is not only constitutionalism, our effort is every means, every moral means, every constitutional means, every legal means. And that comes when we scream and scream and scream it out. Thank you.
So we have many hands still. We'll take, I think, 2 more rounds, but we'll try to keep it brief. So we start 15 minutes late, we end 15 minutes late, we'll be finished. I see Elizabeth.
Okay, now it's time for questions.
Gentleman here.
And the student.
Oh, I said we would take one in the back. Sorry, so you're on the second round.
There's a student
So
from
Elizabeth
Uganda
and
and several other
Yes.
people in the public.
And if you could
I'm
please
here to
shout.
ask some questions.
Thank you. I am a student at the college studying governance and psychology. Thank you so much for being here. As we talked earlier, I grew up listening to your songs, and in 2021 when you ran for president, we were following your journey, first of all, because you are a young person, and African...
Am I?
Yes, Africa need young people, and I think that's one of the reasons why there were overwhelming majority of young people and a lot of people in Africa following you. But also there's one thing, I think that's one thing that I've been grappling with and I don't know the answer. I think maybe you will know the answer because this is your campaign, is that a lot of other Africans know that you deserve to win and you are at the task of this. But there are other people who also saw your campaign as a joke or maybe to attract international support or attention or maybe funds. What did you think that you could really do differently? Because we really want these dictators out. The same thing is happening in my country. And the chief of staff of the defense minister of Uganda is supporting a real bombing to innocent South Sudanese because he is supporting the dictator that is in my country. So my question is, what would you do differently, or any other candidate who want to run, so that what is your background, whether you're coming from politics or not, so that people will not see that you are a joke, you are doing this because you are fighting for people, so that people who have been in politics before could join the support and really support you and know that you are serious. I'm really looking forward to what you do.
I'm sorry, please ask the question precisely.
So, the question is, what could you have done differently so that the leaders who are in politics, like older people or maybe other people who think that your campaign was not serious, so that they could support this? Because we need young people.
I got the question. I don't know if you will permit me. I would love, but the question is so intriguing that I want to respond immediately, lest I forget or lose the steam. Thank you very much. That's important. It had 2 parts. First, there are those that see the campaign that we ran as a joke. Believe me, when you fight corruption, corruption fights back. When you fight dictatorship, dictatorship fights back even more ferociously.